out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian Anwada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
Na yung skin ko ngayon, mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair young and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Sana oil!
key reason for Deli's worldwide success is our manufacturing know-how and large-scale production capacity. Starting from tooling, injection, stamping, surface finishing, and assembling, all the company key processes are managed in-house. Deli has already stepped into the new automation generation, offering production with greater efficiency and stability. Each manufacturing step, from the raw material reception to the final product assembly, is strictly checked by the quality department, making sure every Deli product bought by the consumer shows our quality dedication. Deli today offers one of the widest product selections, covering 12 major categories, focusing on both office and school markets. We provide our customers with tailored logistics solutions, offering quick delivery service, great after-sales systems, flexibility by helping stock management, and offering flexible MOQs. From Dubai to Moscow, from Mumbai to Warsaw, from Chicago to Tokyo, our ambition is to touch worldwide office and school consumers. To achieve that mission, we also rely on our distributors' networks, covering more than 100 countries. With the help of our partners, we make sure that Deli products and branding are well adapted to local markets. This is how we make sure that we fulfill the expectation of each and every Deli consumer all around the world. Deli's mission is to satisfy global consumers top quality, reliable, innovative, and friendly products. Together with partners sharing the same beliefs, our purpose is to make office and school consumer life easier throughout the world. Deli Office, your best office mate. Deli School, so easy, so Deli.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Renelyn Tan-Castillejos. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Zero oil.
for Delhi's worldwide success is our manufacturing know-how and large-scale production capacity. Starting from tooling, injection, stamping, surface finishing, and assembling, all the company key processes are managed in-house. Delhi has already stepped into the new automation generation, offering production with greater efficiency and stability. Each manufacturing step, from the raw material reception to the final product assembly, is strictly checked by the quality department, making sure every Delhi product bought by the consumer shows our quality dedication. Delhi today offers one of the widest product selections, covering 12 major categories, focusing on both office and school markets. We provide our customers with tailored logistics solutions, offering quick delivery service, great after-sales systems, flexibility by helping stock management, and offering flexible MOQs. From Dubai to Moscow, from Mumbai to Warsaw, from Chicago to Tokyo, our ambition is to touch worldwide office and school consumers. To achieve that mission, we also rely on our distributors' networks, covering more than 100 countries. With the help of our partners, we make sure that Delhi products and branding are well adapted to local markets. This is how we make sure that we fulfill the expectation of each and every Delhi consumer all around the world. Delhi's mission is to satisfy global consumers top quality, reliable, innovative, and friendly products. Together with partners sharing the same beliefs, our purpose is to make office and school consumer life easier throughout the world. Delhi Office, your best office mate. Delhi School, so easy, so Delhi.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair strong and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all.
Zero oil.
Okay, and we're live. Good afternoon, a pleasant afternoon to each and every one of you. Good afternoon to our Zoom participants, and good afternoon to our FB Live viewers. Our topic for today is KonMari method, declutter your space, spark joy in your life. So welcome to another e-learning session powered by Ariva Academy. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson, your host. Our topic for today is very timely. Well, most of us are working from home. We have a lot of time to declutter and organize our spaces. And to talk about that, we've invited a certified KonMari consultant. Later, you got to meet her, okay? But before that, I would like to acknowledge first our out-of-the-country participants. Thank you for joining us from our participants from Brisbane, Australia. Thank you for joining us. Fanny Bay, Australia. Rawang, Malaysia. The Canopy, Singapore. Valencia, Spain. Geneva, Switzerland. Metoya, Tunisia. And Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I would like to acknowledge also our Ariva partner speaker, Dr. Ed Canela. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And Sir Next Slideros, wow. And to HFC employees as well, Sir Paul Kison. Thank you for joining us and watching us right now. So let's start. In order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the house rules. We will be having a 2 to 3 minute break after the presentation of our guest speaker and before we move on to our question and answer. Participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. Questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise button for the administrator to enable the microphone for live questions. Questions may also be given via chat. One question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please scan this QR code and it will be directed to our feedback form. Please send us your comments for us to improve our future e-learning sessions. And now, I know you're very excited to meet our speaker today. Our speaker has been a teacher in China. She is the Asia Pacific Director of the International Youth-Oriented Organization, the World Youth Alliance, or the YWA, before becoming YWA's International Programs Manager. But these days, her main goal is to help you tidy up your house. She is now a certified KonMari consultant and the owner of Yorokobi. To talk about how to declutter your space and spark joy in your life, let's all give a hand for Coach Renelyn Tan-Castillejos.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for all of our guests who are here. I'm very excited to share with you how to spark joy in this time.
Okay.
How are we doing?
We're
are we
good.
good?
Yes.
Yes. So right now, I would like to just say hello to all of the people who join in. I'm seeing that there's 202 of us right now. And so can you see my screen?
It's good.
There? It's good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And I really want to just congratulate you for being here. I know that the past few weeks have been challenging for all of us. We've, I think for me, speaking for myself, I haven't been this long in the house for, I guess, about a month now straight. And so when you invited me to talk about decluttering in the spaces here in our homes, I really was very excited. So just a brief background, I'm Renelyn Tan-Castillejos, and I am one of the more than 300 certified KonMari consultants all over the world. And so what I do is really just to help people tidy their homes. I go usually to homes. And so this quarantine period is really very different for me now. It's very challenging in a way because I totally have no home visits. And so I'm helping my clients do it online. And that's what I hope to do for all of you this afternoon. I also founded Yorokobi. It's my own personal decluttering service, and Yorokobi is Japanese for joy, and I just really wanted to pay tribute to the Japanese side of the KonMari method. I'll share with you later on what it is all about. And so what I really want to ask from all of you is just to make this very interactive for all of us. And so with that, I have a very simple question for the participants. What part of your home do you want to declutter most? So here, I would need your help to go to your chat boxes so that I can know what is it in terms of your home that you want to declutter right now. So there, bedroom, closet, bedroom and kitchen, thank you very much. And so I want you to hold that thought and think of why that specific area in your home is your main pain point. We like to call that a pain point right now because probably the reason why you want to declutter that area is because it's not very tidy, or perhaps there's a lot of clutter. And so let's spark that idea for now. And I need your help in a very simple activity.
I think we lost the connection with Miss Renelyn. Miss Renelyn?
Every coffee needs a lotus.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
we're good.
Yes, we're good. Wow. Even in the online world, there's decluttering that needs to happen. My apologies for losing connection. So what I was saying earlier is I want you to help me with this very simple activity called Let Me in Your Home. Since I don't have the luxury my home is almost tidy. My friends sometimes visit me. And last but not the least, my home is truly tidy. Even Marie Kondo will be proud of me. So I'll give you maybe just 10 seconds to reflect a little bit. What do you think is your clutter meter? Right now, there's 284 of us, and I'm really just excited to get to know you more through this clutter meter. Remember, the main point of this activity is not to make you feel bad. Rather, what we want you to do is be honest with yourself so that you now know where you are in terms of how you can improve or how you can limit your unhealthy habits at home. So I'm seeing a lot of mixed rating from 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, not a lot of 5s, but that's okay. That's the reason why we're here together. And so what is the point of all this? Oh, someone shared that her toy collection is from 3 to 4. I'm sure your toy collection is very beautiful. But so the point of all of this is the contents of your home today may reflect the current state of your internal condition. So this sounds very deep, but I'd like to help you simplify this a little bit. Sometimes when we're very busy, we really just try to go and do our different tasks and routine day to day. And sometimes we might not notice it, but the different things that we have at home can reflect the internal condition. What does that mean? If you're very busy, sometimes you just have to maybe keep your things by the table, or you don't have time to fix it, you don't have time to organize it. So that can be an internal condition. For the past 4 weeks, most of us have been staying at our homes, but it also doesn't mean that we automatically have the time to fix our homes, because we have to take care of so many things. What's happening now is very unprecedented. So there's a lot of people who are really just trying to get by on a day-to-day basis. So if your home right now is still a bit cluttered, don't feel bad, because there's still time for you to start. So what I want you to do is to look around you. What items do you see around you? I don't know where you are in the house right now. Maybe you're in the kitchen, you're in the bedroom, you're in your living room, but what items do you see? And more importantly, second question I'd like to ask, if you can share with me in one word, how do you feel in your home right now? How do you feel in your home right now? So in terms of emotions, are you sad? Are you lonely? Are you anxious? Are you happy? Are you grateful? I see answers coming in: safe, sad, restless, worried. It's I totally understand how difficult the situation is, but we also have people saying they're bored, they're grateful, they're stressed, they're cramped, they're happy. Whatever the emotions you have right now are, what I want you to do is just to acknowledge that. Because that's always the first step in anything that we'll do when it comes to organizing and decluttering. We acknowledge the emotions that you have about your home right now so that we can move from point A to point B. Now, if your current emotion is a bit on the positive side, then what we can do is, what are the habits that you can continuously do to keep that happening, especially since the ECQ is still scheduled until the end of the month. If, on the other hand, you are feeling more negative emotions, then what I'll be sharing with you in a few minutes in the different slides are very practical and simple tips how you can start and hopefully move from point A to something better, something more productive for you. Okay? So thank you so much for all of your answers in our chat box. I really appreciate your sincerity. The question I'd like to ask you all now is, why do you want to tidy up? I know Ariva has really given us so many different topics to choose from, but the fact that this topic of decluttering has spoken to you and you're actually spending 1 hour and a half to be with me, perhaps there's something in your home, there's something in your mind that allowed you to just register for this and really help each other. So why do you want to tidy up? It's very important to know why you want to tidy up, because decluttering, tidying up is a very physically exhausting process. And so if you really don't know your bigger why, it's very easy to just be lazy or to feel tired or to say, maybe tomorrow I'll be able to clean or tidy up my home. And so for me, what I'd like to share with you is why this method of tidying up, called the KonMari method, very special. Some of you right now, you're talking about wanting to have more space, practicing minimalism, tidying up, having peace. That's all great, because you know what? The KonMari method is really here to work for you. The KonMari method is not about throwing things away. It's not about decluttering only. It's not about making sure you only have X number of pieces. That's not what KonMari is all about. KonMari is a method that will hopefully allow you to reach a very positive situation in your home by making sure that you're surrounded with items that bring value, or in the words of Marie Kondo, spark joy for you. So what I'll do is I'll play a very short video of what the KonMari method is, so that you'll get a better idea in terms of what you can use for your own homes. What is the KonMari method? I'd like to share it with you right now.
Transform your homes into spaces of joy and inspiration. KonMari is an organizing method that uses the spark joy philosophy. This means that everything in your home should bring you joy. KonMari points people to a way of life that is filled only with things that are truly valuable. When doing KonMari for your home, tidying is done not by location, but by category. The 5 categories are clothes, books, papers, kondo or miscellaneous items, and lastly, sentimental items. The method was started by Marie Kondo, a Japanese organizing consultant and now a best-selling author. She has also been recognized as Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People in 2015. In KonMari, we teach our clients to keep only the things that speak to their heart, or in the words of KonMari, that spark joy. And for those things that don't make you happy anymore, you have to discard them. However, the important thing is to say thank you to these items that made you happy once upon a time. And once you're ready, you let them go. To know more about tidying method of KonMari and Yorokobi, please visit www.worldofyorokobi.com.
Thank you very much. I'm reading your comments, and some of you are asking, is that you in the video? Yes, that's me in the video as I try to explain what KonMari is. I really like how the comment here said, everything seems to spark joy. That's very true. When I first tried to KonMari my home, that's my exact feeling. I told myself, but I bought this, my good friend gave this to me, it's my husband's gift to me. So everything I attached emotions to, which is why in my home, before I did KonMari, there's so many things. And it was really hard for me to let go of stuff. Now, what is very important, what I'd like to share with you, and the greatest lesson I've learned from Marie Kondo, is that tidying up is really a way of life. My greatest lesson from her is the spark joy philosophy, where before I used to think that I'd be happy because I have all of these different things. But now that I've just removed the different things, the non-essentials or the things that don't really give value to me, but I only thought that it was valuable because it was expensive, it was a gift, or I thought that I'd still fit in some of those clothes, that's when I said, so this KonMari method is not really about throwing things away, but it's making sure that every single item in your house right now inspires you, or if it doesn't inspire you, it adds a purpose to your life. And so in terms of my role, I really, this photo that I have was last April 2018 when I had to go through the 3-day certification course with Marie Kondo. If you want to be a certified KonMari consultant, aside from reading the books, this is another step that you need to do to go through the 3-day certification course. And it's interesting because Marie Kondo is Japanese, so the whole talk was in Japanese, translated in English. So it was as if we were listening to two talks. But what I'd like to highlight is that in terms of what we do, the reason I guess why this method really works is when Marie Kondo entered the room, it was as if she filled the room with so much positive energy. And that to me is the value of Spark Joy. It's not just having a beautiful, spotless, clean house, but it's really having your spark joy from within and sharing it with other people. And this is what's very important, especially now at this time where we're here. We don't know when the quarantine will end, but hopefully you find that joy so that the other people in your homes, or if you're alone, so that you also will get a more positive vibe. And so there, as a KonMari consultant, these were my classmates, and we would go and visit homes to help them in their tidying journey. And so what I'd like to share with you are two quotes that I got from Marie Kondo, and this is hopefully something that will guide our discussion. The first is I'd like to differentiate with you the difference between cleaning and tidying up. Marie Kondo says that tidying is the act of confronting yourself, while cleaning is the act of confronting nature. And so you can totally have a clean home, but it's filled with clutter, it's not tidy. What is cleaning? Cleaning is dealing with dust, dirt, nature. Like we have to do it every day so we're healthy. But the thing about tidying, the reason I guess why it's very difficult, especially for me when I started, was it's really asking myself for every single item in the house that I own, what is the value of this thing to me? And growing up, I used to be a shopaholic. I still love to shop now, but I can say I'm a responsible shopper because every time I go to the mall, I would still do window shopping, but I know now when to actually buy it or when just to try it on to be happy and then leave the store. And so that's why I also like how when other people would ask me, they might think, oh, maybe your house has nothing. But I tell them that, again, the goal is for you not to have an empty house. The goal for you is to have a house that's really a home because you have items from your clothes to books to papers to other miscellaneous items and sentimental items that you use and you work for and you really enjoy. The second quote I'd like to share is tidying is a tool, okay? It's a tool for everyone. It's not the final destination. If it's a tool, then what is it a tool for? It's actually a tool to make you happier in your life. And so you might think, I thought I'm just tidying up, but it's really something deeper. You know why? Because for so many people, they think that maybe clutter is something they can just set aside and put there and go back to it after a few days, a few weeks, and worse, some people after months or years. But there's really a negative effect that clutter has on us. Last week, what's very exciting is Marie Kondo came out with a new book. The book is titled Joy at Work. And we've also been talking, like with the consultants and we've been talking about how the timing right now is very different from how when she wrote that book. But I think the main themes, the main lessons is still very, very helpful. And I'll be sharing with that later on. So in the book, Joy at Work, they had a survey from 1,000 working American adults. And they asked, do you think clutter affects you negatively? And the study said that yes, definitely 90% of the 1,000 working American adults surveyed said that clutter affects them negatively. How? Just to share with you some of the effects. Number one is lowered productivity. Number two, it's a negative mindset. Because of course, maybe if you have a lot of things, either in your home or in your office, it's hard for you to think clearly. It's hard for you to strategize when there's not a lot of clarity. The next one is reduced motivation. See, perhaps different people really have different motivations, but if, for example, you are affected by clutter, then this can negatively affect you. And last but not the least, what they say is clutter can also have diminished happiness. So if this is what the survey shows, of course, this is in America, but if you think about your own work, your own offices, maybe your own spaces where you interact with people, and if you agree with any of these things, maybe you can share in the chat. But this is how clutter can negatively affect people. So we don't want that to happen, and I'll be sharing with you what are the things that you can do. What I'd like to see, what I'd like you to, maybe if you have notebooks or if you have highlighters there, you can just write this very important sentence. Once you start tidying up, you give yourself the chance to reset. I'd like to repeat that. Once you start tidying up, you give yourself the chance to reset. I know that for the past 4 weeks, we've all been given this time that we never thought would be possible. But like I said, if you were taking care of so many other things in the past weeks, do not worry, because now you have this time to reset and to just give yourself that goal of maybe having a tidy home. And so with that, I'd like you now to join me as I share with you what are some of the essentials for sparking joy in any space. Of course, we will need the help of our good friend Marie Kondo here, and she gives us these essentials if you want to spark joy in your bedroom, in your kitchen, in your dining room, or in your whole home. The first one is joy. Who among you here right now find it so hard to feel joy? Can you share in the chat, please? Who among you here find it, if I were to ask you, how much, in terms of percentage, 0 to 100%, how much joy are you feeling right now? 0 to 100%. How much joy? 80, 30, thank you for your honesty, 75, 90. Okay, so we really have a spectrum of percentages here. And so the thing with joy is no one can really make you happy but yourself. So just to put that into perspective, that joy is very, very important. The second is gratitude. Gratitude, being thankful. And I guess this is where humanity's strength lies, like especially with times like these, just to have gratitude for the fact that we're still able to communicate, we're still able to help each other, we're still learning about tidying up at this stage with technology helping us. So that's very important. Next is positive feelings. If you want, whether you can see it or not, every emotion that you have in your home right now is affecting your whole space. It's affecting the people around you, right? And so whatever feeling that is, you have to always remind yourself that positive feelings are important if you want to spark joy in any space. Determination. Why is determination important? Tidying up, I will not kid you, tidying up is physically exhausting. So you have to make sure that when you want to start tidying up, you get a good night's sleep, you eat well, and you make sure that you're physically ready for this activity. It's very, very fulfilling, but you have to be physically ready for a lot of the carrying things, a lot of the fixing up that you'll be doing. And last but not the least, living in the now. This is my favorite essentials for sparking joy, living in the now. Who among you here have a lot of clothes? Can you share with me? Who among you here, if you open your closet now, you can honestly tell me that you have more than 50 pieces of clothing. I love it. The chat box is just really, I think there's so many answers saying me, me, me. And I totally can relate with you. See, living in the now, I realized before I have so many clothes, but I realized I was only wearing 1/3 of the clothes. Why? Because I wasn't living in the now. I was either living in the past or living in the future. What does that mean? I used to weigh less. I used to be really thin. Well, not really thin. I used to be thinner. And so there are many times when I would look at my closet and I say, no, I'll still fit in my closet. I'll still fit in my clothes in my closet. And so Because of that, I kept so many clothes that didn't fit anymore. And so what happened to me was I was telling myself, no, maybe next month, maybe next year, it's going to be okay. There's really nothing wrong. If you see yourself, I guess if you're losing weight, or if you're gaining weight, and you see that in a few days, few weeks, or a few months, you will be able to fit in the clothes, then you can keep that. But if it's been like 2 or 3 years already, you've been telling yourself that, maybe it's also time for an honest wake-up call, so that you can also just say thank you to the clothes and say goodbye to it. And so that you can have, even if you have fewer clothes, but if everything fits, that's actually you living in the now, and you don't feel bad about not having the right clothes, not looking as if your clothes don't fit, because now, there, you're living in the now. Okay? So I'd like to ask you if you understand what sparks joy means. So to those of you who have heard about KonMari in the past, perhaps spark joy is something that's common to you. But for our new friends here who are just learning about KonMari for the first time, I'd like to share with you what sparks joy is all about. Now, how can I do that? I'll share with you 2 items that spark joy for me in my home. This is not a kid's stuffed toy. This is actually mine. It's my Monchichi doll. Now, you might ask me, why is it that I have this doll? It so happens that every time I see this doll, I look at it and I remember my childhood. And so I remember my childhood. And when I was a child before, I didn't have a lot of fears. I really just am able to do anything. And so this Monchichi doll, when I saw it in a store 2 years ago, I decided to buy it again. And when I saw it, every time I would have my Monchichi doll before me, there would always be creative ideas and inspiration that comes into my mind. And so every time I would do some brainstorming for a project or for a specific collaboration that I have, creative ideas and inspiration easily comes to me with my Monchichi doll. There. So again, this is how you say something sparks joy. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most beautiful, but if it inspires you or if it affects you in a positive way, this is how an item can spark joy for you. Next is this item. What is this? This one is always beside me before I sleep. It's a simple ballerina music box. And so what is important about this? When I finished decluttering my home a few years back, what happened is, what I'd also like you to realize is, when you tidy up your home, you can only touch your own things. You cannot touch the things of other people. Even if you like to, you cannot force, like for example, for me, I have some clients who would tell me, Ren, can you please declutter my husband's things? But that's not something that I do, because I can only work with a client who is ready to declutter or to tidy up. So in this case, with the ballerina music box, when I finished decluttering, there were certain things in my life, or like for example, for me, my husband didn't change in terms of his attitude, in terms of how his routine was. And so I also have been very creative in looking at how I get to find peace and calm in the house when it's just me. And so with this, every time I would play this ballerina music box, I would feel peace and calm. And so for you, I don't know what gives you peace and calm. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's looking at a particular picture, maybe it's reading a letter, but whatever that is, if it gives you peace and calm, it's very important that you keep it close to you, or you know where to get it when the moments like this happen. Okay, I see some people saying, seeing all my pens here. Thank you, JM. So for JM, pens really give him a lot of maybe peace and calm. So that's a good thing to know. So enough about me. What's most important is what sparks joy for you. Some of you have been answering already. What I'd like to know is for you to type in our chat box what sparks joy for you. Again, to differentiate or to define, spark joy means that it's something that contributes a positive effect in your life. Okay, so there. So we have your sons, books, family pictures, arts, crafts, instruments, art materials, plants, books, kids. Thank you for sharing about how your kids and your families make you happy. But for the purpose of decluttering, we will just look at material things for now because we cannot declutter them. These people are important in our lives, right? So there. What's interesting is some people, this question has been asked with for a lot of consultants, and they ask us, can we declutter people? And so with that, what I usually answer is, we really just share and teach people how to declutter items. But what you'll realize is, it's because you now have yourself surrounded with items that just bring you joy and bring you value, it becomes more or less second nature for you to also choose the activities that you do, the people that you surround yourselves with. So it can be an indirect way. When you know exactly what makes you happy, it's easier for you now to, like I said, choose the people that you're around with, and to also find activities for you that are meaningful. If only I can declutter my family members and relatives. LOL. So there's Ria. I'm sure that once you start with the decluttering and you'll have everything clearer, you might not even be too focused anymore with them, right? So there. So let's move on. My question to you now is, does everything inside your home spark joy for you right now? Give you maybe 5 seconds. Does everything inside your home spark joy for you right now? No, not all. Definitely not. Not all. No, not really. And that's a good starting point for us. Because if you say that it's no for now, you will get very practical tips in a bit for me. So here you're seeing, in terms of your home, like right now you're looking at the kitchen, at the dining room area. So it really doesn't matter what kind of colors you like. It doesn't have to just be all plain or all neutrals. What's important is you know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, it's harder for you to just get what it is that you deserve in life. So now, are you ready for your tidying festival? Tidying festival is a term that we use in KonMari. And tidying festival, it's usually a one-time, big-time event where you go through all of your things in your home and you tidy up. Now, tidying up doesn't have to finish in one day. It's not realistic. So yes, someone says, whoa, a festival. Yes, it's called a festival because tidying up, it's really something that hopefully is enjoyable for you. Because think about it. If you're going to spend maybe at least 5 days or a few weeks or a few months to declutter, then might as well make it enjoyable. So the tidying festival hopefully is something that will allow you to reboot and to reset in your home. Okay. Now this is very different from daily tidying, because with daily tidying, this is already the routine that you have once you finish your tidying festival. So with the tidying festival, my only disclaimer for you is, as you go through the tidying method, your home will of course be cluttered, but that will just be temporary. Because once you finish the whole process, then you will have clarity of mind. Yes, Millet said that she's relieved it doesn't have to be done in one day. No, it really depends on you. Later on, I'll also give you tips for what's practical for people, especially for working people, especially for those who are still working from home. So I hope that's clear. The difference between daily tidying from tidying festival. What I hope to challenge you to do is have a tidying festival for your home right now that we're in ECQ. And once you're finished with that, whenever that time will be, the tidying that you'll do on a daily basis or every other day will now be easy because you now know where things should be in place. Okay, you can do it on the weekend, some do it on weekdays. It really depends on your preference. If there are 2 skills that you need to master for KonMari, these are just very simple. I'd like to read the first one. Number 1 is the ability to keep what sparks joy for you and discard the rest. Okay, the ability to keep what sparks joy for you and to discard the rest. And once more, I'd like to emphasize that here, I want you to focus on the things that spark joy. Don't be worried about everything that you need to discard, to donate, to sell, because we have to focus on what is enjoyable, what is positive in this process. Now, if you have to discard something, I need you to do one thing, and that is to say thank you to the item. You can do it silently or out loud. If there's a lot of items and maybe you're with other people, you can opt to do it silently because they might be wondering, why is this person talking to her things? Okay, so there. I see some sad faces in the chat box. I don't know why you look sad, but hopefully just stay with me here because, like I said, tidying up is not a sad process, hopefully. Second thing, the second skill you need to be able to master is the ability to decide where to keep each thing and put it back in place. There. The ability to decide where to keep each thing and put it back in place. So think of this as a parking space for every single item in your home. I'd like you to be honest with me. Now, if we would rewind it a little bit and think of February when you would still go to work, still go to the office and come back home, where do you usually park your office bag? Where do you park your handbag when you go home? Do you have a specific parking spot? Sofa, sala, room beside your bed. I'd like to share with you something funny. Like whenever I'd remember this, I would smile. Because one day when we were still together with my parents and I were still living together, my dad just suddenly said, why is it? Because there's 5 girls in our family. So we have a lot of bags. And then one time he's very busy. He went back home. And he's like, why is it that I have a lot of chairs, but I cannot sit anywhere? Because our bags, we put it on top of the sofa, on the chair. So it's really very hard because for him, he's like, why do I have a chair? But it's the bag that's sitting, right? So I'm sure you can relate. Maybe one time or the other, you also used your sofa as your table. But what I'd like you to do is try to think, if you have a specific parking space for your bag when you go back home, then it's easier for you to store things. And second, you won't have the start of clutter. Because clutter only happens because a particular item doesn't have a home or doesn't have a parking space. Of course, sometimes when you're tired and you just really want to lie down and rest and sleep, that's okay. But the next day when you're already up and about, you've rested, then you go to wherever your bag is and you put it back in the parking space. In that way, you will not have an accumulation of clutter. Good job, Juvelin. Your kids are already doing this, so hopefully there's not a lot of clutter in your home. So there, these are just the 2 skills that you need. Now, I'd like you to think of something very, very honest here. How do you start tidying up your home? I need you to schedule time for your tidying process. And when you do the schedule, when you give this deadline for you, I want you also to be realistic. I don't want you to think that you will finish it in one day if you really have no time for that. So in terms of thinking of your end date for the tidying project, think of what's realistic. For me, my recommendation is maybe you can carve out just 1 to 2 hours each day, or if you want to do it every other day, every 2 days, or over the weekend while we're here in quarantine mode, then at least you know that you have a set time for each of these things. Okay, so there, it's very, very important. Some would like it every other day. So there, and write it down. You can write it on paper, you can write it on your mobile phones, doesn't really matter, it just depends on your preference. But what's important is once you schedule it, you stick to it. Okay, once you schedule it, you stick to this. Next is here. We will now go to learn the basic rules of Marie Kondo. I don't know if you've read Marie Kondo's book, but this is the book that changed my life. It's called Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And so in this book, she shared 6 basic rules of tidying. And so hopefully you'll be able to also use this in your own homes. Okay? There. So are you ready? If you're ready, the first one is, this is the first step. Commit yourself to tidying up. I cannot overemphasize how tidying can be very, very tiring. But if you know your big why, and if you're really committed to it, you'll be able to make it work. I'm showing you here my closet before decluttering. So with KonMari, what's important is you remove all of the items in the same category so that you see it in one glance. or you see it in one sitting. See, sometimes if you don't see everything that you own at once, you might think that you don't have that many, but once you see it, you'll be like, that's really a lot. I used to tell myself, I don't have anything to wear, only to find out when I saw all of these clothes that I had, like I just wasn't able to see it. It was at the back, or I just totally forgot it because there's so many I couldn't see it anymore. And so what happened next? So this is, ta-da! This is now the result. This side, because I have two sides in the for my clothes. One is the hanging part, the other one is in the drawer part. But this is now what's left of the hanging part. It's far less than what I used to have. But then what I feel better about it is everything I can wear from here, it totally fits me. So it lessens my time to just be trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to wear? What do I do with the excess? What I'd like you also to do is to be very responsible, not just for yourself, but also for our planet. So when you discard clothes, there are three things that you can consider doing. The first one is you can donate it to charity. If you have maybe a local charity, a church that you go to, you can donate it to them. This will be used. Second, if you're more entrepreneurial and you want to sell it online, you can do sell it on FB Marketplace, you can do carousel, or you can even sell it to your family members. And the third is you can give it to people, but there's a big but. When you give it to someone, you have to make sure that they want it, okay? I was guilty of this before when I was still decluttering, not the Marie Kondo way. Every time I would fix my clothes and I see something that I don't want to let go of but doesn't fit me anymore, I sometimes force my sisters to use it. And I tell them, no, use this. You can have this because it's expensive, it's nice, it's branded. And then now that I think about it, I really feel bad now because I realized I was pushing my things to other people. And so remember, when you want to give to someone, make sure that they really want it. Okay? So there. That's rule number 1, commit yourself to tidying up. Second, this is very simple but very, very important. Number 2 is think of your ideal lifestyle. In this particular photo, the owner of the room obviously likes a lot of whites, a lot of neutrals, wood, and there's a lot of texture with the carpet. So this is her ideal lifestyle. But in your case, think of what your ideal lifestyle is. You know why this is important? Because if you don't think of your ideal room, ideal space, ideal home, then you won't be able to get it. You will just get maybe hand-me-downs, or you will just get the things that the universe will give to you. So how specific do you need to be? When you think of your kitchen, for example, and you want to say, okay, I want to spark joy in my kitchen, my questions to you would be, what kind of kitchen do you want? What kind of stove do you want? How many plates do you need? How many pots and pans? What kind of tiles do you want? Very specific and down to the detail. So that when you go shopping, you will not be confused with all of the choices. Or when you need to go buy something, even if you have so many different varieties to buy from, you will be able to stick with your list and you'll tell yourself, okay, this is what I want. I will not be confused anymore by all of these different choices. So that's why it's very important to think of your ideal lifestyle. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, also feel free to just share it with us. Okay. The third tip is this one. I don't know if you're doing this already. Number 3 is you have to finish discarding first. I repeat, finish discarding first. When I used to fix my room before, I always started the other way around, which I realize now it's not the KonMari way. I would always buy storage first. Storage first, like I would look for really nice boxes and tell myself, oh, I already did the first step. But I realized that that's not the way to go. You have to finish discarding first. Why? Because when you finish with all of this tidying method, you might be surprised that you actually have more space now after you finish discarding everything. So you finish discarding first. Here you see that you have to be ready with trash bags, balikbayan boxes, where you can discard things. And when you discard, later on, I'll share with you the different categories that you need to go through. It's important that you divide it into categories and subcategories so you don't get confused. And for example, maybe one question you might ask, what if it's already the end of day, I'm still not finished with the category? So if that's the case, what you can do is just set aside a small space in your home where you can temporarily park these items that you haven't finished yet. Because if you're not yet done, you don't have to force yourself to finish, because you will just be tired, you will lose momentum, or you might just altogether decide to quit. So there. So you have to just set aside that space, tell people, okay, maybe just put a sign off limits, and just also remember in your mind that that space is just temporary, because once you finish the tidying up process, it will be clutter-free. Okay. Okay, let's see. Jordan says he has a dilemma. He's gearing towards minimalism, but he also wants to go zero waste. So I'm fond of recycling and reusing. So it ends up that I still have the same amount of stuff in my house. Actually, this is a challenge for a lot of my clients, because once they start to recycle and to maybe just put the donations in their house, I tell them they're not yet done until the item leaves the house. Okay, so maybe you can use that as a rule of thumb. If, for example, you want to donate items, give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a deadline that, for example, by this date, I need to have delivered this already to charity A or church B, so that you also don't just rearrange the clutter in your home. Because if that's the case, if you're not removing anything that's not supposed to be in your house anymore, then the amount of things you have will still be the same. When it comes to recycling, maybe what I can recommend to you is just have a number that's not too many, because different people have different home sizes. So maybe you can get a space in your house where you can just say, okay, this is the space where I can put my recycling materials, but don't make sure that it doesn't go over your allotted space. Because if that's the case, then you're defeating the purpose of your tidying up. Okay? So there. Hope that helps. So we have friends here who's a crafter and upcycler. Hello, Tim. So same suggestion. Just choose a space in your home where you can put your things. Because remember, in your home, you really are the main person who can control what sparks joy for you. So if crafts spark joy for you, you can keep it in your home, but make sure that there's space and it's not too much. You're not accumulating it just for the sake of having a lot. Because at the end of the day, if you want to upcycle, I'm sure you also want to contribute to positively helping the environment. Number 4, tidy by category, not by location. So this one's very unique with KonMari. When you tidy, you don't tidy by location. What does that mean? Before, I used to clean by location. So I would clean my bedroom first, then my bathroom, then my kitchen, then my living room area. And so it worked for me, but I realized that the KonMari way is better because it asks us to tidy by category. There are only 5 categories in the KonMari method. The first one are your clothes, followed by your books. 3rd are your papers. 4 is komono items, that's Japanese for miscellaneous items. And last but not the least is sentimental items. So in this case, what happens here is for the different categories, we will ask you to finish each category first and not go to the next parts. So number 5 in connection, the rule for number 5 is follow the right order. I took this page from Marie Kondo's book, Spark Joy. To those of you who are more visual, this is Marie Kondo's second book. It's called Spark Joy, and it's good for people who like to see pictures and images of how to fold. And so here you can see the correct order of tidying. It says here, you tidy clothes first, then books, then papers, komono, and sentimental items. So sometimes you might be tempted. Well, I don't have a lot of papers. Maybe I should do it first. See, Marie Kondo has been tidying as young as 5 years old. Like she has been doing this for years. For her college thesis, she even learned, she even wrote about organizing. So this method has totally worked for her. And this is also why we're asking you to try it, to use it, because the main reason why this is arranged as such is this is according to the level of difficulty. So the clothes, even if there's a lot of people with expensive clothes or branded clothes, thing with clothes is it's easily replaceable with fashions that can change over time. So clothes is easiest to discard in that way. Now you go to the books and then papers. Once you finish these first three, you more or less have been able to master or to practice how you do the choosing of what sparks joy for you and what not. And so there. Yes, Marinette. So these are the categories. So that's clothes, books, papers, kimono, and sentimental items. For kimono, this is actually the largest category. So this is where anything that doesn't fall under clothes, books, and papers. So you can have things from your kitchen, things from your storage, maybe artworks, different things that you have that don't fall under the first three. And last but not the least, the fifth category are sentimental items. So what are the sentimental items? Sentimental items can actually come from the first four categories, but they have a special way of making you feel good. It's sentimental, so it really depends on you. It's very personal. So if, for example, you have a sentimental piece of clothing, you can set it aside first, put it in your sentimental items pile, so that you can go back to it later when you're done. Because can you imagine if you only start with sentimental items? I'm sure you won't be able to discard anything, right? Which is why Marie Kondo asks us to take care of it for the last part. So there. So do we have any questions? So far, I think we're good. People are just asking about the categories. Yes, do not start with the sentimental items, Josiah, because it's going to be extremely hard to move on. There. Okay, before I go into the last tip, I want to just highlight to you, some of you might ask, is there a correct number of items? Maybe just a correct number of books to have? And the answer is no. The answer will really ultimately depend on you. Because remember, we're trying to have a spark joy home for you. So it's you who totally knows what can inspire you in your home, what can make you happy in your home. So in that way, what I want you to think of is, as long as you're able to use the item, as long as you're able to maybe use it for other people as well, then that item has value for you, and so it can stay. But also, I want you to be honest. Sometimes we think we need all of these things, especially if you're a collector, for example. If you're a collector, I would recommend that you have to also give respect to the items that you collect. Because think about it. If you own a collection and you don't know, you don't actually put it in the right spaces, or you just put it one on top of the other, you're actually not giving joy to your different collections. So what I will recommend really is, if you have a collection, make sure it's put nicely. And unless you have space for it, maybe you can also consider just enjoying what you have right now. Linz is asking, when I started my journey of tidying, you look quite young. Thank you very much. I'm in my 30s already, and I started my journey of tidying actually 2017, so 3 years ago. This book that I have, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I already read this in 2014. I wasn't married yet, but at that time I read it, I said, wow, it's really cool. But I was living with my parents, I didn't have any problem with clutter, and so I just said, okay, it's a nice book. I set it aside. 2016, I got married, and I realized that married life to me was very good, a very good time, but I also went through some adjustment period when it comes to my own personal choices in my career, in my decisions about what next to do after getting married. So in short, what happened was, I got a little bit, there was a part in my life where I got confused, I got stressed, I got depressed, I think, in some point. And so I went to do retail therapy. What is retail therapy? I don't know if you've experienced it, but sometimes when I'd feel bad, I just would go to the mall, and I felt then that as if everything in the mall was talking to me, like telling me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And so I thought that these little things would make me happy, like maybe a nice shirt, a book, like cute pens. But at the end of the day, I'd go home and I would sometimes just set it aside and put it under the stairs. And so I didn't notice it, but clutter slowly filled our home. Our home, we moved into a 70 square meter apartment, and it's really nice and cozy. It was very bare, but so the clutter happened. And my husband is from Batanes. He's very, very organized. He's very, very simple. And to him, he couldn't understand why I had so many plates. I had 20 plates when there were only 2 of us, and we didn't even have visitors come over. And so I guess it was really an adjustment for him. And so I also knew I didn't want to have a cluttered home. And so I don't know why, one day I saw this book again. That was early 2018. I read this book again, and I said, I really just want to declutter my home now. And for 2 hours, I decluttered just my room. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but after I decluttered my room, I really just felt a sense of peace and calm. And I actually cried. I told myself, wow, a lot of the things that I was going through, I filled my house with so much clutter. I realized that that external clutter was showing my internal condition at that time. And so because of that, after that, I realized I want to help other people as well to declutter, which is why I studied to be a KonMari consultant. I became certified in last year, but I've been helping people declutter their homes since 2 years ago. So that's my journey. And so why am I sharing it to you? Like, I know what you feel right now, because like I said, I love to shop. I love cute things. I love so many things, like surrounding myself with things. And I totally forgot that the most important and the most valuable person in the equation is myself. And so I now know that I don't need so many material things, but I still use things. But now I'm just able to surround myself with things that I need. So if right now, if you're listening to me and you can relate, and this is something that you're going through, because no one wants to have a cluttered home. That's what I know for sure. Like, no one really starts with a cluttered home. But sometimes it can be a way for you to show your stress, or without you knowing it, maybe you're very tired. So now is a good time to go back and just reboot again and to restart whatever it is by talking about your home. Dawn says, shop and let go. And so for Dawn, if Dawn is a person who likes to shop, like I said, it's just what's very important is, even if you like to shop, that's good if it makes you happy. Just make sure you have a parking space for every item in your home, so that clutter will not start. So there, last but not the least, 6th tip is ask yourself if it sparks joy. There. So here, I'm showing to you my book collection, and a really nice glass coaster placemat that I saw. So these are random things, right? But these are the things that sparks joy for me. In your case, I'm pretty sure you have a different photo in mind that you'll be thinking of. But these things will allow you, hopefully, to realize that, okay, if it's something that sparks joy for you, I want you to display it. And I also want you to actually enjoy it, right? And so there. You can relate. There's nothing more important than having inner peace and being mindful about our decisions to purchase anything. Decluttering helps us to be more purposeful. Thank you, Linz. And yeah, and it's whatever tidying journey you are in right now. If you're just starting, if you're at the middle, or if you're almost done, what I want you to do is remember that you're really doing this for yourself. This is not for your husband. This is not for your mom. This is just a bonus if they have a clutter-free home. But really, at the end of the day, it's going to be you who will benefit from this. And tidying up, I hope at this point you realize that it's not about throwing things away. It's not about discarding things away, but it's actually being courageous enough to see in yourself what is it that you value. What is it that you value, and how can you spread it to other people? Dina here asks, what if the clutter belongs to members of your family? This is a great question. Unfortunately, or fortunately for some, you can only tidy up your own things. If, for example, you're living with someone who's very cluttered, you can only inspire that person. Because at the end of the day, if you force anyone to tidy up, maybe you can relate with me. If you tell to someone in your house, can you fix your things because it's very messy? Chances are that person will be upset, will get mad, or will just totally not talk to you. Because yeah, and so with us, with KonMari, we always say, just think of your things first. Think of your things, and then you will be surprised. Some people may be ready, some may not, but it really depends on their own timing. Clutter only your own things, as Jay said. Clutter and declutter your own things. How often do you do KonMari decluttering? It depends on you. The good thing with KonMari is, because everything now has your own parking space once you're done, it's easier for you to just keep the things, the space clean. Now, if you want to do KonMari decluttering on a regular basis, like every quarter or twice a year, it depends on you. You can totally do that as well. And so, just to summarize, Marie Kondo's 6 basic rules of tidying, I'd also like to highlight that Marie Kondo here, as you can see, is smiling. So when you tidy, I hope that this is also your internal condition, right? To smile and not to be upset when you're tidying. Because if you're getting to be annoying or irritable, then you have to stop, because this is not the KonMari way. We always still have to spark joy. So summarizing it, you commit yourself to tidying up, imagine your ideal lifestyle, finish discarding first, tidy by category, not by location, following the right order, and lastly, ask yourself if it sparks joy. Okay, there. So let's review the correct order. I want to have a quick quiz with you. Can you tell me what is the first category? What is the first category, my friends? Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Correct. What is the second category? I love it. You're so good. Books. What's the third? I love it. Papers. Some people are getting confused. Some people are saying books. So the second is books. The third are papers. What's the fourth? Kimono or miscellaneous items. Correct. And last but not least, we have sentimental items. Perfect. So there. So you have that. So that's the correct order. And so it doesn't matter if you have few clothes or many books. You don't interchange the order. You follow this order first. Okay? There. And so I want to show you, because usually whenever I have workshops, I do folding sessions with them. I teach them how to fold. But since we don't have that time right now, I will show you a very quick video on how to fold 2 pieces of clothing. The first one is your shirt. The second will be your pants. So here it goes.
Tidying really life-changing? 101% yes. The most famous tidying technique in the KonMari method is folding your clothes. And today, I will teach you how to fold 2 items, your shirt and your pants. Now, the first item we will fold will be your shirt. What we need is a flat surface. Perhaps the table or the bed will be perfect for this. So what we will do is to make sure that you use both palms to touch your clothes with love. We pat the shirt so that you remove the creases. And then once we're ready, you have to fold the right part of your shirt inward and do the same with the sleeves. You do it as well on the left side. And the most important shape to remember is that we're making a rectangle. Now we see that we now have a long rectangle. We take the bottom part and fold it in half. But remember to leave a gap on the top part, about 1 inch will do. And once you're finished, we will now fold the shirt into thirds. 1 and 2, and voila! you have your KonMari folded shirt. Next, we'll be folding the pair of pants that we have. Again, it's important that you have the flat surface so that folding will be a breeze. So once again, you make sure that the pants are patted using your palms with love. This is special about the KonMari method. Now we fold your pants into two, and again, from the bottom part of your pants, you fold it so that you also leave a gap here about an inch. Now, usually your pants has a triangle-shaped crotch here. So what you can do is to fold it so that we have another rectangle. Once we have this, the last part will be to fold it into thirds like this. 1, 2, and again, we now have the KonMari folded pants. And so once you put this in your closet, you'll be sure that they'll be sparking joy for you. If you want to know more tidying techniques, please visit my website at www.worldofyorokobi.com.
Thank you for watching that. And so one thing I'd like to share with you when you actually fold, some people are asking, do you have to fold everything? Actually, the answer is it depends on what type of closet you have. If you have prime real estate space, which is closet hanging space, then by all means you can use that, especially if you have clothes that easily crumple or very delicate material, you can hang it. But for most people that I visit in their homes, they don't usually have a lot of hanging space, so you can do the folding, putting it in drawers. The main point of folding is not to make you experience difficulty in folding, but essentially it allows you to see every item that you have once you open your drawer in one glance. So it's very good because number one, you won't have to double buy things because when you open, you already know that, oh, okay, I have X number of white shirts. I have this number of green shirts. So you already know. The second thing is, in terms of closets in the Philippines, what I've observed is they're usually either deep or high, right? So what you can do, what I can suggest is you can actually get either shoe boxes or maybe things like this so that you can use it and you can fold the items and see, like for example, these ones, my clothes here, you can see it's just like that. And you can put it one on top of the other in case your closet is very high. Okay. Just to answer Phil's question, what is clutter a sign of? What I've shared earlier was that clutter sometimes it's a sign of something that's going on in yourself. And it's not always like that. Sometimes maybe your clutter can be because you don't have time to fix everything when you go home, but the next day you'll be able to fix it, or a few days, then that's just normal tidying up that you need to do. But the clutter that we're trying to solve here is if you have things that has been sitting in your home for so many years, so many months already, you're not using it, the space that it's taking up in your home can actually be used for something more productive, then this type of clutter is something you want to remove in your home because it can be a sign of maybe something negative inside of you. Maybe you're going through something. Maybe you want to pursue a specific project. You're just trying to procrastinate. These are different things that only you can actually answer. So if ever you notice that in your home, you're accumulating clutter day by day, then that can be a sign for you to, oh, okay, maybe you can schedule a simple decluttering day so that you don't pile up with a lot of clutter. Now, as we end, we're about to end in a few minutes, but I'd like to share with you some helpful tips to determine what sparks joy. This one is particularly helpful when you're decluttering clothes, you're tidying up clothes. Put all your belongings in one pile per category. Because like I said, if you don't see everything that you own, sometimes you can throw away older stuff and leave you can throw away the newer stuff and leave behind the older stuff. What's an example? For example, maybe you have different shampoos, right? Different shampoos in different locations in your house. But if you cleaned your bathroom first, in the first floor, thinking that that's the only shampoo pile you have, then you throw it only to find out that the shampoos in your storage room is actually already expired. So because you don't see everything in one pile, then it's not helpful. Next is compare your belongings with the other items and then use the top 3 joy ranking method. If you have a lot of things in a category in front of you, I want you to choose the top 3, and you'll be surprised. Once you see the top 3, you more or less will be able to find it easier to compare it with others and say, I like this and I don't like that. So that's the top 3 joy ranking method. When something doesn't spark joy anymore, be grateful for the item and learn to let go. Because once upon a time, that item made you happy. It won't ever enter your home if you didn't like it, if no one gave it to you. So just think of it this way. At this particular moment in your life, it's not serving its purpose anymore. So it will be okay to let go. Because like I said, there are responsible ways of discarding the items. You can sell it, you can donate it, or you can give it to someone who really wants it. And last but not the least, my friends, I hope you remember this very important tip. No matter how cluttered it looks, do not pause, do not stop, do not quit, because the final outcome will be worth it. Okay? There. And so now I'll be showing you just 5 different slides that I've taken from KonMari's Instagram account. I really get inspired from a lot of her posts. So these are just some helpful tips for you, for your clothes. There. Rohan is asking, how can I please repeat the top 3 joy ranking methods? So it's very simple. For example, you have a lot of clothes in front of you. What I want you to do is choose your top 3 favorite pieces of clothing that you have. And once you have those top 3 with you, more or less, you'll be able to compare that with the many other pieces of clothing that you still have. And I've observed it has been helpful for me. You can use that for collections, you can use that for books, you can use that for other things. So hopefully that's clear, Rohan. So this one, for your clothes, as you can see, if you have hanging space, by all means, go do it. Sometimes you can also combine your shoes. And on the right side of the photo, you will see the sweaters or jackets that's folded. And see here, 2, 4, 6. You know that you have 7 jackets, different colors for different occasions, but you don't have to go through the whole pile anymore because you now see everything that you own. And the folding part is really just an added bonus. For your books, it's very important for books to be on shelves like this, not horizontally, but upright. So you can see here in this photo that she used the books not just as for the library purposes, she also can use the books as decor. So it depends on how you are. I have clients who are really book lovers, so they have lots of books, so their shelves are all books. But if you only have a few, you can use this as an inspiration to also try to see this. For papers, my dear friends, papers are best stored upright as well. So it's helpful for me to have paper organizers like this. And I like to have clear books as well so that I can categorize my different bills and different items. With papers, what I'd like to share with you is papers are always best discarded. That's also what Marie says. But we know that there are different types of papers. So I'd like to recommend to you for papers, you can actually have 3 different categories. You can have pending. Pending meaning maybe these are bills you need to pay. These are important papers that you need to settle in a few weeks, a few days. So that can be a pending pile. The second is you need to keep it. This can be contracts. This can be for BIR purposes, all of these things. So you have to need to keep pile or a want to keep pile. This can be letters. These can be important messages from people. But other than that, what I recommend is you discard the papers. If you can do electronic billings, that's good. I know the ECQ has taught a lot of us to go online recently. So that's my recommendation for papers. And if you see this, it's nice to make sure that you have containers for different paper types, different envelopes as well. Now for your kimono items, like I said, there are many different types of kimono items. But for this one, I'm sharing with you kitchen equipment. Some people, they like to keep their kitchen utensils, dishes, plates in a cabinet. For others, they like to display it. Just make sure when you're displaying it that it's still easy for you to clean the surfaces. Because with KonMari method of tidying, you also want the cleaning routines that you have to be easy. And so with this case, in the right side part, you can see that even if the pots and pans are hung there, you can easily clean the surfaces as well. Okay. Lastly, for your sentimental items, this one I just would like to challenge you to use your sentimental items. I know a lot, Filipinos are very sentimental. You have a lot of things that you want to keep, and sometimes you're very good in keeping it that you actually forget that you still have the sentimental item. But this one, you'll see if it's a frame, if it's a photo, display it, use it, and enjoy it. So there. Now, I know that I shared with you, I'll be giving you a few tips if you are currently working from home right now. This one I got from Marie Kondo's newest book, which is Joy at Work. So who among you here are working from home? Can you share with me? Say yes, yes, yes. Who's working from home? Oh, okay. A lot of people. And so in terms of working from home, hopefully you have a desk that you've gotten already or you assigned yourself to. So first rule from Marie Kondo's Joy at Work book is designate a place for each item and store by category. So for example, what are the things that you need? Do you have notebooks? Do you have pens? Do you have a laptop? Do you have books that you need? So whatever it is, it's important for you to designate the item and store by category. If you have food, maybe you can keep it in the pantry and just get it when you need it. Next one is use boxes and store things upright. So here, I know that sometimes, unless you have your own space, if you're sharing it with someone, important maybe to use mini boxes. And boxes you don't need to buy, okay? Like for me, I tell my clients if you have boxes that are sturdy, you get from appliances or things you bought before, you can use it. This one, I can store my books here, storing it upright. I can put my pens as well. So you just be able to recycle some of these things. And last but not the least, as a basic rule, don't store anything on top of your desk. Why is it so? I know it's very challenging or tempting sometimes to just put everything on the desk, but it gives you a certain sense of peace and calm when your desk is actually clear and there's not a lot. So if you can put it in boxes or if you can put it inside your drawers, then that's better. And so there, these are just very simple tips from Marie Kondo's book together with Scott Sonnenschein. So she co-wrote this book with Scott, and it talks about how you can find joy at work. So there. Now I'd like to challenge you to create your own area of work from home joy. This one, I like it. And it really is up to you if you want to have photos, if you want to have just the bare essentials. But right now, I'd like to ask you to make the most out of the unique situation we all are in. Because if you find that joy, hopefully you'll be able to cope more for this. So some more helpful tips. In the morning when you are ready to work, just get ready and get dressed up for the start of your work from home day. It's an important signal for you to say, okay, even if I'm not leaving my house, I'm actually starting to work now. So putting on some work clothes or putting on clothes other than your sleepwear will be very helpful. Second, is important also to inform the people at home that you are working in specific times. Because sometimes you might be upset, why are they so noisy? But if you don't tell people that you're actually working, they might just think that you're scrolling through the net, you're just watching videos. So it's very important also to tell people that you're working so they also respect your time. And if you have kids, if you need to take care of your kids and work as well, it's also going to be a nice practice to let them know that, for example, for 2 hours, for 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, they can't bother you because you're working. Okay? And then it's also important to schedule breaks so you can move around for energy. I know that a lot of people today, you're trying to match hours, but it's totally different now that we're at home and you have other responsibilities. So I would recommend you get up so that you can move around for more energy as well. Last but not the least, I recommend you add an item of joy into your work from home area. For me, this penguin I got from a theme park before really makes me happy. So I have this beside me when I'm working. So for you, it depends on what you like. Just add an item of joy into your work from home area. Okay? Toys. There. So unless you have any questions, I just want to share with you just 2 reminders for sparking joy, for tidying up your home. It's very important to have love and inspiration. And so whatever you're doing now, if ever you'll be starting today or tomorrow to tidy up your home, just remember that you're doing this out of love for yourself, out of respect for just having you deserving the best space that you have for your home. And the other painting I have is really something that inspires me. It's a painting by Carlo Onchanco, and this allows me always to, even if there's so many things going on with my mind, every time I look at that painting, I tell myself that everything will be okay. The fact that I'm still healthy, I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, I'm grateful for that. So I guess now is the perfect time for us to remember these things as you go through and tidy up our homes. So those are Spark Joy Essentials. Carrie Ong's asking how to declutter things of deceased people. And so this one, of course, it will, if you, I don't know if these are your own family members or someone's asking you, but if it's for your own family members, I guess it's also important. You can maybe have a simple ceremony, simple prayer that you can do. But at the end of it, just how you would declutter the different pieces of clothing, the different categories will be the same. Just of course, maybe if the deceased has a husband, just make sure that it's communicated that you're going to discard it, so that there won't be any fights, any negative feelings because of that in the end. So sometimes what I've seen is in some families, they really mean well. They throw away things of the deceased without informing someone who's very important to them. And so that's where the problem lies. But I know that when you communicate it well, you give respect as well when you declutter things of the deceased. It should be okay as long as there's that proper communication. Okay? And so question and answer time.
Okay.
There.
So thank you for the tips and strategies and sharing us the KonMari method way of decluttering. So we will now gear towards the question and answer. But before that, Coach Ren, we will just have a quick break.
Okay.
So please stand by. For you guys who are watching right now, please stand by because we will be right back.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
Hi, I'm Mel and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Gian Wada. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasy, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasy.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair young and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all.
Zero oil.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
There, are we back?
Okay.
Yes.
So just a few reminders to our participants. For Zoom participants, please type in your questions at the Q&A chat box below. For Zoom live questions, click raise button to notify the administrator. For Facebook live viewers, type in your questions in the comment box. So before we move on to the question and answer, ma'am, Coach Ren, please allow me to acknowledge our out-of-town participants. Okay, we would like to thank our participants from Angeles City. We have 5 participants from Baguio City. We have 40 participants from Cebu City. Hello, thank you for, no, it's 75 rather, sorry.
Hello.
We have participants from Davao City, Iloilo City, La Union, Naga City, Pampanga, and Tacloban City. I would like to say hi and greet also some of our Ariva Speakers Bureau. Hello, Sir Howell. Thank you for sharing.
Hello, Sir Howell.
Yes, and also I would like to say hi to my in-house team, Keisha and Joanne, and to the rest of the Ariva family. Hello. Yeah, so shall we start?
Okay.
Okay, for the first question, how do I help myself if I seem to have hoarding disorder?
Okay, so it's a good question. And so for us, every time we would find people who would say that they think they have a hoarding disorder, I would also recommend that they also seek the help of a professional, because for us, as KonMari consultants, we're really here to help people tidy up. But for example, if you think you have a condition of being depressed, or if you're clinically depressed, so I would also recommend that we ask clearance first from maybe someone in the medical field. And so there, we don't, because it's a different kind of communicating. It's also a different way of helping this person. So there. But if, for example, you really have so many things. So my first question is, if you've been clinically diagnosed, then that way I will say we will refer you to the professional. But if you're the only one who says that, maybe I have too many things, I can ask questions. We can usually give a free consultation before I get clients. So that can be a communication that we will do together. But rest assured that if I know that I can help you, I will do that. But if I feel that if a medical professional is better in that particular time, then I will refer you to that.
Okay, thank you. For the next Zoom participant question, this question is from Ms. Roxanne. I don't live alone and have common spaces in the home. What is your advice so I can ask others to join in with the tidying up?
Really, my dear friend, my best advice is for you just to tidy up your space. People believe what they see, not what they hear. So if you tell them, let's tidy up, but you don't show it to them, then they might just be saying, you're just saying this. But if you show to them, even if they're not tidying up, you clean up, you declutter, you tidy up, then baka magulat sila. They'll be like, wow, she can actually do this. And in that way, you can inspire them. But the other thing I'd like you to remember is there might be times when they also will not be inspired. They will just still choose to have their own clutter. And so in these moments, this is where I say that's why your internal spark joy condition is very important. Because even if everyone around you has a lot of issues or challenges, you will still be okay, because internally you are okay, because internally you don't have that clutter that's stopping you from having your best home. I hope that helps.
Okay, we have a live Zoom question here.
Great.
From Jermaine Gabriel. Jermaine, good afternoon.
Hello.
While we're waiting for Jermaine, I have another question here. While I want to declutter, my hobby keeps a lot of things. So with my children. So what can she do?
So in terms of that, I guess it's really important for you to have open conversations with the people that you live with, because I think the challenges or the arguments will start if you just show it to them and not communicate that you're being bothered by that particular clutter. If after that communication, your husband or whoever it is still finds it difficult to declutter, then just let it go. For me, my question is, why are you bothered by the clutter of others if you haven't fixed your own clutter first? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Fix your own clutter first, and once you're done with that, you will be surprised that you won't be too upset with the clutter of others because you are okay internally. I know it's hard to, maybe it's not too easy to accept as an answer right now, but if you are okay with who you are, then doesn't matter what's happening around you, you will still be okay. And that's why I want all of you to try to declutter and tidy your home right now in this very unprecedented times, because it can give you a very unique way of peace and calm that no one else can give.
Okay, so let's check if Jermaine is ready now to ask this question. Jermaine Gabriel, go ahead. Okay,
Hello.
let's move. Hello, yes. Let's move on to France. France Hagonio.
Hello, France.
Okay, I'll ask another question. Let's wait for them. Yung mga boxes ng mobile phones, gadget, etc., is it advisable to discard them na din? In the future kasi, when we need to sell stuff, it's nice if we still have these boxes. What's your thought on this?
Actually, the boxes of mobile phones, they're my favorite to use as dividers because they're very sturdy. Even Marie Kondo, she loves the boxes of the phones and even the laptops because it's a good divider. So if you have plans of selling your phone in the future, what I would recommend is use that as mini dividers in your drawer right now. That's what I use when I need to divide my jewelry from my watches to other things. So just be creative.
Okay, for the next Zoom question, can I also apply the KonMari method in organizing my digital files, documents, picture, etc.?
For digital files, I know this is something that a lot of people are curious to know. For digital files, what I can recommend is to make sure you don't have too many folders. It's important you just simplify. You simplify what you need. Maybe you have work folders, you have personal folders, and from there, also set some time to delete images or photos or files that you don't need anymore. I think because we have a lot of memory in our, you have the cloud right now, we sometimes think that we don't need to declutter, but it also helps to just remove the items that you don't think, that you don't need anymore. So same principle, ask yourself, when was the last time you used that file? What use will you have for it in the next few weeks or months? Or will you still be able to use it maybe for a future project? And so if you don't, then maybe it's time to hit that delete button. And there.
Okay. Coach Ren, we have a question from FB Live viewer, Shannon. How does minimalism compare with KonMari method?
So minimalism, as far as I know, it's really, the goal is for you to have as few of items as you can. And I know there's a lot of people who benefit from that. The difference between KonMari is your goal is not to have very few items, like I said earlier. Your goal is to be able to figure out what are the things that you need, how many of the things do you need, and hopefully with those things that are still in your home, you will be able to use that. So I guess that's the main difference. With minimalism, if I understand correctly, you really want to lessen. Some people, they only have 3 pieces of clothing, those things. But with KonMari, you are the one who will decide how many do you need, what do you need, what kind of things make you happy.
Okay, let's move for another question. Sir Alan? Go ahead, you may ask your question now. Good afternoon, Sir Alan. Good afternoon, Sir Alan. Alan Aguinaldo.
Hello, Sir Alan.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Most of my clutter are actually the books of my kids from way back. Do I really need to discard them all?
I love your question, Sir Alan. I usually go to a lot of my clients' homes and I find that for books, parents really have such generous hearts because whenever we would go to their libraries and I see the books of parents, maybe 80% of the books are not theirs. I think a lot of times parents want to keep books that they think their kids will still need. But I guess to be on the realistic side, if you're keeping it for other people or maybe for other kids, on the practical side, maybe the things, the contents, the information in the books can be outdated already. And then second, what I really want to challenge you, Sir Alan, is to use that very precious book space for your own interests, for your own books. And you don't have to feel guilty if you're going to let go of the books anymore. If you can donate it to a children's library, you can donate it to a place. But I guess what I've observed is for a lot of my clients, they're keeping books that they think their kids would read, but actually only to find out that when they give it to them, they don't need it, they don't want it, it's not their interest. And so, which is why I really want you to be able to enjoy your space. If you have a lot of books from your kids, maybe use this time now, have maybe 2 hours of bonding time with them and try to see, okay, these are some of the books that I kept for you. Do you think you'll use it? And if they say, Papa, no, I don't think so, don't feel bad. Because actually be grateful that they're honest, that they don't need that. And it's not because they don't like your help. Maybe it's because their interests are just different now. And so once you discard those books responsibly, in whatever way you can sell it, you can donate it. Then the exciting thing now is you have that space. You can fill it with books that you are interested in, Sir Alan. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Alan. We have a question here from our Facebook Live viewer and my friend, Miss Janet Canoy from Tourism Promotions Board. Tips on decluttering inside of bags. The bags.
Okay, bags. I love bags. I used to change bags before every day when I was younger, but now I don't do that anymore. I only have 2 bags that I interchange. With bags, I find that it's helpful that I remove everything at the beginning. So when I go home, when I used to go home when we didn't have quarantine yet, I would remove the things in my bag so that I can sort out my receipts. I can see if I have some food that I left, or I can just check my planner. And what's helpful for me is I also have bag organizers inside so that the bags, if for example I'm using a bag with no structure, it's not hard to find the items. So 2 things. One thing you can do is at the end of each day or maybe at the end of each week, remove everything in your bag, give your bag a breather, and you clean that quickly. And second, use bag organizers inside your bag so that there's structure and you can easily find items.
Okay. For the next question, we have a question here from Miss Christine Senioron. Go ahead. You may ask your question now.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Miss Christine.
Yes, hi. I'm quite an OCD when I was young.
Yes.
So, yeah. But then life has taken a toll on me. So, I stopped caring. I seldom clean up. So when I tidy up, it took me days to tidy up. But then the problem is, I live in my mom's house now. My dad passed away, so there are a lot of clothings that that mom did not discard yet from my dad's. And then our attic is parang wala ka nang hindi mo na mahanap ang mahanap mo kasi masyadong maraming gamit. And marami din kaming mga gowns. In every occasion, there are so many gowns. and everything are sentimental from my mom. And then another problem is that um um my sister and her family had their yung house nila pina-renovate, but since it's under quarantine, so na-stop yung renovation and they still live in my mom's house. So we are all in the same place, and there are so many kids. Ang every time I come home, yung wala pang ECQ. Every time I come home, ang kalat-kalat that no matter how hard I try to clean up, parang messy pa rin. So, parang messy pa rin. And then, on my part, being an OCD, hindi ko naman ma-blame na yung other, like my sister or yung ibang tao dito is hindi as OCD as me. So, for me, hindi yan malinis. Like for them, malinis na yan. Pero in my perspective, it's not malinis pa. Parang ang sakit sa mata. So, well, how should I go about it? Yung una ko kasing ginawa is with my daughter, kasi I'm a single mom. So, nandito kami sa isang room. So, last month, nag-declutter kami. So, medyo huminga na yung room namin. The problem is, yung sa dalawang room and sa attic room and the kitchen. And another thing pa, kasi yung bahay namin is a housing. So, you could just imagine kung gaano kaliit yung housing, yung housing. And then, kaliit ng bahay, yung quote nga namin, kaliit ng bahay, pero ang daming gamit. And what added pa is, since we've been living here for 20 years by 20 years na, so medyo yung iba is parang nagdilapidate na yung other parts ng ceiling. So hindi maiwasan may mga cockroaches, and meron din sila Jerry, si Tom and Jerry na nagtatakbo. So how can I start decluttering when all the problems is parang halos lahat-lahat na. So I'm planning on renovation, but then wala pang finances for that renovation. So how could I go about it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christine, for your honesty. And I can totally understand the frustration. I can totally understand that you really want to control a lot of the things. But right now, my friendly advice to you is just to breathe. Right now, my friendly advice to you is just to breathe. Can you do that for me? Di ba yun?
Okay.
The reason I say that is because I think for your goal is very good. Your goal is you want to have a spark joy home, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
sometimes if you're thinking of a lot of the challenges, a lot of the constraints, then it might be harder for you to move forward. So what I can recommend to you is to break this down into little challenges, little projects. Kasi at the end of the day, with decluttering, every single space that you tidy up is already a big achievement. But for you, I totally understand that you really want to save the whole space, but right now there are a lot of constraints. So if you would allow me to recommend to you, just do top 3 projects that you can have. Start with the top 3 categories: the clothes, the books, and the papers. And if you can remove the other type of clutter, which is what's the word? I think a lot of things. It's a lot of control that you want to have in the situation, but right now we really don't have control with other things. So just take care of the things that is within your control. What do I mean? So now you know the number of clothes that you have. You know the time. You can control what you will declutter and how long you will declutter per day. So you start with that. And because if you have those mini projects, once you're able to see that progress, you'll get another step into maybe the second floor. But there, just do the first 3: clothes, books, papers. Set a time. And then set a realistic expectation as well. Don't mind the others anymore. Like right now, the clutter from your question are the people around you. the renovation that stopped, the challenges, the insects. Don't think of that, because right now your greatest person is yourself. You have so much love in yourself. You said as you were younger, you're already OCD, as you called yourself.
Yes.
That means I know that in you are very organized. But if I think you're your greatest enemy right now. If you will, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I really mean that to support you, because you already know what to do. You're just putting clutter in your mind right now that you don't need. So mini projects, top 3 mini projects, set a schedule, stick to it. Later on, I'll be sharing my contact details if you have some questions. So hopefully that helps.
Yes, contact details are good. I need that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Steve.
much. Okay.
Coach Ren, can we still have one more questions? I know questions are piling up right now, but due to lack of time. So for the last question from Miss Christine Joy, how can we deal with the "we might need it in the future" mentality?
Yes, we might need it. So for me, ask the question back to you. When you ask yourself, well, I want to keep this because I might need it, my question is, when do you need it? If you say that you will need it by next week, next month, then by all means keep that. But if
I get dinner.
Like dinner, go keep
dinner.
A dinner. If it's going to be years that you see yourself, maybe you have to be courageous enough to just say goodbye to that item, let go. And here's my tip for you, my dear friends. If you're one of those people, because I totally understand this, I used to hold on to a lot of my clothes because I thought I would still fit, but I didn't anymore, so I let go. But if at any point in the future I will lose weight and I get to be in a different size, smaller size, then it's okay to buy a new wardrobe to reward yourself for that hard work of being healthy, of just looking your best. So you don't have to make yourself feel bad about yourself. But right now, I think what will allow you to experience your best self is if you live in the now, as I said earlier.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach Renelyn. Do you have any last few words, message to our participants?
Yes, I just would like to share. Is it okay for me to share my screen again, my PowerPoint? I
Go
just
ahead.
want to share. There, I will share this so that you can see. In terms of thank you for all the questions. This one, just very quickly, I want to show you this one of my favorites. Or if you're the one who used to keep your socks like this in a ball, the best thing for you to do is not to do that because the other part gets bigger always. So this is how you do it the KonMari way. Just fold your socks like this. You have more space and you're able to see everything that you need there. And also, oops. There, can you still see me?
Yes, but you're there. You can just mention the details, Coach Renelyn. There you go.
There. Okay, so there for your socks. And then here, to those of you who are wondering what I really do, so hopefully you can have spark joy together. Of course, my in-home visits are not operational right now, but what I usually do is I do KonMari home visit sessions. I do KonMari talks and workshops as well. And so the newest thing that I'm doing since we're in quarantine is I'm doing virtual home tidying sessions. If any of you are interested, you can send me a message later on when I show my contact details. And last but not the least, I would like to invite you to get Marie Kondo's newest book called Joy at Work. I know there's no bookstores we can go to right now, but it's available on Amazon via Kindle. It's a very good read. Maybe you can use that and read that. And once again, I really just would like to thank Ariva for inviting me and for letting me share the knowledge I have with KonMari. And maybe just to end, I hope that you realize that tidying up is really for you. It's a philosophy, it's a way of life. It's more than just throwing things away, but it's actually knowing what you value. And if you are touched or you feel this is by any chance important to you, hope you can follow me on Instagram at World of Yorokobi. Can Viber me any photos that you have as well that you have. I can give you one photo that you can ask me about in your home. And you can also visit my website or email me. So those are my details. I know we still have a lot of questions. Thank you very much, but we don't have time for that anymore. But it has really been a great afternoon for me. I learned a lot from our participants as well.
Thank you also, Coach Renelyn. So see you soon.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
sharing how to spark joy in our lives and in our homes. Okay?
Thank you very much, Irish.
Bye-bye. So for our participants, this is not yet the end of our e-learning session. I just have to acknowledge some of our win-win partners. We would like to thank our win-win partners, our official media partner, the Art Plus magazine, thank you. Digital media partners, Focus Media, Globaltronics, City Advertising Ventures, Outcome, and Elevate Media. Thank you so much. For win-win partners, Brother, Faber-Castell. Thank you also to Gluta-C, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, and Lotus Biscoff. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook. Please scan this QR code and it will be directed to our Facebook page, Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Again, it's Ariva Academy Philippines Inc. Facebook page. If you want to watch again the replay of our e-learning session today and the previous e-learning sessions, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channels. Please subscribe to Ariva Academy's YouTube channel and to Ariva Talks YouTube channel. Here are the links below. For our upcoming online learning sessions, this will be tomorrow. Don't forget to register. We have invited the spokesperson from SSS. He is Mr. Jomer C. Gonzalez. And on Friday, the dynamics of working from home, develop professionalism while working virtually. This will be on Friday, and we will be joined by none other than the certified image expert, Ms. Abigail Arenas de Leon. And on Saturday, this coming Saturday, April 18, Communication and Relationships Building in Times of Crisis. This will be discussed by none other than the customer service guy, Mr. KonMari. And on Monday, April 20, Better Decision Making and Understanding the Global Reactions to COVID-19 Using Neuroscience. So interesting topic. This will be discussed by US Certified Neuroscience Coach, Coach Ben Ampil. And of course, we have invited the sought-after motivational speaker and wealth coach, Mr. Chinkitan. He will be discussing manage money in a crisis, strategies to manage your money better. This will be on Saturday, April 25. Don't forget, Saturday, April 25. And we have another e-learning session from our partner. We would like to invite you. He will be discussing work mode mindset, leadership lessons employees can learn at this time of crisis. This will be on April 16, 10 a.m. This is from our partner, Mr. Paulo Tibig. Please check his Facebook page for further details. And of course, I am honored to invite you on our first and ever HR Virtual Summit, PH 2020 Bounce Back HR. Sharpen resilience for the new normal of work. So for further details, please log on to our website, www.ariva.com.ph, and we have invited international and local subject matter experts for our HR professionals. So please join us. If you want to have a customized e-learning session exclusive for your team and invite our Ariva partners and speakers bureau, please call me at 0916-695-4418. Again, it's 0916-695-4418. Or email me at irish.arivaacademy@gmail.com. And that's it. Thank you so much once again. This is Irish Malonda Samson in Ariva. It's all about being better. Keep safe, and stay home. Bye-bye. Hi to my husband, Jeff.